Hey there YouTube, Stealth Talk here with a brand new video. Today I am back with the long overdue Boba Fett video, hero comparison, and I know it's been a while. I'm real sorry, my TV is broken, and, well, it still is, and I can't get a new one for a while. So as soon as I can, though, you can bet I'll be posting some more awesome Battlefront videos. But turns out I didn't actually delete all my old Battlefront videos that I had from before. I just accidentally moved them to a different file, so I had no idea where they were. But, so we're going to start this one off like how we did with the other hero comparisons and do movement mechanics. Boba Fett's movement mechanics are almost identical to the new game from the old one. The only difference is he can combat roll in the old one, and he can sprint for longer durations and faster than most other troopers on the battlefield. That doesn't include Jedi and other heroes. But in the new one, his sprint is the same speed as everyone else, and it's unlimited, as is everyone else's. So there's not really much difference there. Just that, you know, in the old game they had a stamina bar instead. And so now we're going to move on to primary blaster here. Boba Fett in the old game still used the EE3 blaster rifle, and it's pretty much exactly the same as it is in the new one. It is a powerful, long-range, 3-round burst blaster rifle. It typically kills in 3 shots. There's no damage drop-off in this game, however, and pretty much the only difference is that it has a rather low ammo count in this game, which there are no ammo counts in the new Star Wars Battlefront. It's all done by overheat instead, but it has a low ammo count, and it sounds a lot more like the EE4 from Star Wars Battlefront, from the new Battlefront. The new gun has more of a high-pitched kind of pew 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 sound, for lack of a better description. But in the old game, it was very effective, typically killed in 3 shots, and was very long range, except against hero. It was a god against heroes, but it didn't kill heroes in 3 shots. It typically took 2 bursts to kill a hero. It's a little different in the new one. It's got much more of a high-pitched sound, so I'm going to stop talking so that you can actually hear said sound, but they're basically identical guns. So now that we've covered that, we can move on to abilities. We'll start with the wrist rocket. The wrist rocket in the old Battlefront was terrible. It shot a little bit faster than the new Battlefront rocket, but really that's it. It's straight trash. It has terrible blast radius. It has terrible damage. It doesn't do well against heroes or infantry. And if you're trying to shoot it at a Jedi hero who's blocking, which is pretty much the only time that it is useful, they can send the rocket back at you somehow. I don't understand how that works because it is a rocket, so I don't understand how it doesn't blow up on the lightsaber, but who cares? It still comes back at you, so video game logic. But anyway, yeah, it's just straight terrible. It's actually, I shoot 2 snipers with it, and snipers have the lowest health in the game, and I get a direct impact, and it doesn't even kill a sniper. So it's pretty garbage. The rocket in the new game has been much improved. It is way better than the old game, and it's one of my favorite weapons to use, actually. They increased the explosive radius and damage immensely. It is so much better, and it has a close-range lock-on feature, so if you're within, I think, 25 meters is what the cutoff is, it'll lock onto the enemy, and it'll be like a homing shot, pretty much. The only differences from the old Battlefront is that the missile itself doesn't travel as fast, but that's not a big deal, honestly. It doesn't make much of a difference. It's great. I love using it. It's my favorite weapon to use with Boba. It's so awesome. And now that we're done with that, we'll move on to the jetpack. Surprisingly, the jetpack from the old game was much better than in the new game. It had the same fuel system, except that I believe you could fly slightly longer from the old game. I haven't done like any actual timing tests, but you could fly slightly longer with it, and you had complete control over the altitude. You could skim the ground like I am right now and attack enemies, or you could fly as high as you wanted to as long as you had jetpack fuel. Once you ran out, though, you would just fall straight to the ground, unlike in the new game, where once you start running out of fuel, you use the rest of your fuel. Like, I think once you get to like 20 points of fuel, you use the rest of it to start controlling your descent down. But you had to be careful in the old game, because if you weren't paying attention like this, you would kill yourself. And I think you can kind of do that in the new game too, if you tried, but it's not as easy since you can control the descent. The new jetpack is a lot less maneuverable than the old one. It flies up to a fixed altitude, and then it starts to glide down once you reach about 20 fuel or so. It's a lot less fast, I should say. Like, you don't move around as fast. Like, you kind of just glides a little bit, you know. The older one seems to traverse distances faster, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. One main difference to note is that the new jetpack will stop working if you take lightsaber damage or explosive damage, where the old one will never stop working no matter what. So if you're taking a ton of damage and you decide to jetpack out of the way, it's not gonna malfunction on you. It's always gonna work. Now we can go to the flamethrower. The flamethrower is one of the best guns in this game. It is so awesome. It is one of the most fun guns to use as well. And you know, it's kind of the same concept. It has a low ammo count, although there is no ammo count in the new Battlefront, but it's just to prevent it from shooting for a long period of time. In the new Battlefront, I believe it shoots for 2 seconds and then or 4 seconds now, and then turns off. And that's probably around the same as what this one does. But basically all it does is you use it to kill people in close range, and to kill groups of enemies in close range, and it's even much more useful in this old game because the EE3 was terrible at close range. It was so hard to hit people with the EE3 in this game, which has been improved upon in the new one simply because the sensitivity in the old one is straight garbage. But it's really cool because not only does it do massive damage to people at close range, but it also lights them on fire, so they take burning damage for a short period of time after you light them on fire initially with the flamethrower. The flamethrower in the new one, in my opinion, is kind of crappy. The original 2-second version that they came out with was really, really good. Then they did the Bespin update and made it 4 seconds long, saying it was easier to use, but they spread out the damage now, so it doesn't do damage as quickly, and it doesn't really do anything. It does great against enemy heroes. It usually does pretty well against enemy heroes, but it's terrible against enemy regular infantry. It takes so long to kill them that you basically just lose massive amounts of health trying to kill people in close range with it, so I just rely on the gun and the missile now. One thing to note is that you can actually turn it off in this game, rather than in the old one where the only way you could get it to turn off was combat roll. This game you can actually turn it off. I forget to do it all the time, but I did it a second ago against Luke Skywalker, so if you want to rewind it, go ahead and see that. I forget to do it all the time, but it's kind of cool, and it does really well against heroes. I already said that, and yeah, it's really close range. Sometimes the aiming's kind of crappy on it, like right here, I'm just standing in front of Princess Leia, like torching her with it, and it doesn't really do anything. But now that we're done with that, we can move on to the miscellaneous differences. In the old game, Boba Fett has another ability that isn't in the new one. It's called the Det Pack, and it's a C4 pack that you set down and trigger it whenever you want, and it does massive damage to vehicles and turrets and infantry alike. You can use it to set traps for infantry or kill blocking heroes, stuff like that, and it's pretty fun. I don't use it that often, but it works really well when you do use it. For the final difference, it's just atmospheric stuff. Of course, just like the Emp and Darth, Boba Fett has 2 entrance phrases, although the second one I'm going to show is much rarer than the first one. And the only other thing is he has the original voice actor, or the new original, I guess I should say, because it's not the guy who was on the original copies of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It's the new guy that plays Jango Fett in Episode 2, and he has a theme song come on, which is the Darth Vader Imperial March type thing, but that's usually associated with Darth Vader, but it's his theme song in this game, and yeah, that's all there is to it. I'm going to show you those things so that you can actually hear it now. Thanks for watching. This is Stealth Taco signing off.
A command post has fallen to our enemies.
Fate here, let's get this over with. Boba Fett on the job.
Fett, take him down. How many